they can heal. Go to PikeCountyFloodRelief.org right now to make your donation. Every dollar helps. Every act of kindness counts. Together, we can heal the heart of these communities. Pike County Flood Relief. In their darkest hour, your light can make all the difference.
God deliver us.
Your friend in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. Brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin insurance agent in Clinton. My guest on the phone today is Joey Long, director of the DeWitt County Museum, C.H. Moore Homestead. Good morning, Joey. How are you today?
Good morning. Beautiful day. I'm doing well.
It is a beautiful spring day, and hopefully, Joey, we have some beautiful spring weather for a event at the museum on, I believe you said Saturday, but I could be wrong, or is it Sunday, Joey? Remind us what's going on at the museum, the when, the where, and what is happening.
Well, it's actually on Sunday, the afternoon of Sunday, April 27th at 1:30 p.m. And we are so excited about this. This is our first special event of the year. You know, we always have our annual events and then sprinkle in a few special events throughout the year. And so this is the first. And I'm very excited about this. So everyone is invited to join us in welcoming author and historian Guy Fraker as he shares his insight regarding the story of Abraham Lincoln and Anne Rutledge. Anne Rutledge, of course, being the young lady believed by many to have been Abraham Lincoln's first sweetheart. So the name of this program is Abraham Lincoln and Anne Rutledge. Is the story true?
So tell us a little bit, not to spill the beans too much, Joey, and give too much away here, but what do we know about Anne Rutledge and Abraham Lincoln? How about that?
Well, we know that Abraham Lincoln, as a young man living in New Salem, and Anne Rutledge had a friendship. And some believe that Anne was actually Abraham Lincoln's first sweetheart. She died at a young age. And there are a lot of people who believe that having known Anne and having lost her actually had a great effect on Lincoln throughout his life. There are other historians who don't believe that she was actually the first sweetheart. So that's why the tag on the end of this is the story true? A lot of people who are familiar with Lincoln or New Salem are familiar with this particular story in Lincoln's history. And Mr. Fraker's done a lot of research on this topic. And so he's putting together a presentation and going to tell us what he thinks about this relationship and whether or not the story is true. So Mr. Fraker is actually a very dear friend of mine, and we're very excited to have him come and speak with us. He's spoken, done presentations all over Illinois and beyond. He's published 2 books about Abraham Lincoln and the 8th Judicial Circuit, and written and spoken extensively about Lincoln and some about his background. He was a consultant on the Abraham Lincoln Prelude to the Presidency documentary. That documentary actually won some awards. It was nationally distributed, produced by PBS. And he was also the co-curator of Prologue to the Presidency. That's a permanent exhibit at the David Davis Mansion Historic Site. He's been an educator. He served on numerous Lincoln-type committees, chairman of Looking for Lincoln at one point. He is involved with the Abraham Lincoln Association, which currently they're working on trying to rejuvenate and revitalize New Salem. And so I'm sure he'll have a lot of insight on New Salem to share with everyone during this presentation as well. So going to be very interesting.
Yeah, for sure. You kind of beat me to the punch there. I was going to have you tell us a little bit about Guy Fraker because, those that are familiar with DeWitt County history probably know his name, Joey, because he has done a lot of presenting at the museum over the years. And I've had the privilege of talking to him on the morning show a couple of times. And he is just a treasure of information. I mean, he is like yourself. I mean, he just exudes passion for the history that is just stored in his mind. It is amazing to listen to him.
It truly is amazing to listen to him, and he has that special way of how he presents. His books, of course, are meant to be very scholarly and factual and straightforward, but and you can expect that at this presentation, but also it's just such a down to earth and personal way of presenting. So yeah, we're really looking forward to having him with us.
All right.
Now I want to mention that this is a free event, so it's open to the public, no admission to attend, no reservations necessary. It will be held in the carriage barn. There will be additional parking available in the lot directly across from the museum. And if anyone, would like to have any additional information, if they have any questions or anything, please feel free to give me a call at the museum.
Very good. And Joey, one more time, the when and where on this event.
So this is taking place on Sunday, April 27th at 1:30 p.m. And the name of the program is Abraham Lincoln and Anne Rutledge, Is the Story True?, which will be presented by author and historian Guy Fraker.
All right, very good. Look forward to that. That should be a really, a really fun event coming up on a Sunday. Very good. Joey, I know that it's just really a busy time. Of course, the museum is back and open. By the way, Joey Long, director of the DeWitt County Museum, C.H. Moore Homestead, my guest on the phone here for this morning. I know it's just a very busy time for you, like I said, with the museum back and open and all of those things. How has the first several weeks of the, I guess I shouldn't say several, first 2 or 3 weeks of the museum being open, how's it going? What are folks coming in for? What are they asking about? What are you presenting this year?
Well, it's been good. It's been quite good. So we have had quite a few visitors come through the doors. Let's see, yesterday I had a young couple. They were driving from Bloomington to Decatur and had made that drive many times. And she said that, they always see the sign on the highway and think, well, someday I want to stop in there and see that museum. So they decided that yesterday was the day, which I did tell them, sign on the highway, it's the oldest trick in the book, but it sure gets them in. I do people, what brings you or how you heard about the museum. And lots of times that's the answer, that it's the sign on the side of the road. Either they see it for the first time while traveling and think, well, we'll just pop by there and see what there is to see, or they pass by that sign many times and it makes them think, well, one of these days I'm going to stop. So so far, let's see, can I remember? I've had people from Wisconsin. I've had people from Northern Illinois, Southern Illinois, and I think a couple from Indiana. So yeah, we are up and running. The doors are open and welcoming visitors.
Very good. Well, Joey, speaking of welcoming visitors, if it's all right, let's dive into an event coming up in May. What's going on in May? I know you've got a big open house. How about that?
We do. So the DeWitt County Museum Association Board of Directors, as you know, they've put a lot of work into the house these past few months while we were closed. And they decided to, one afternoon in May, to just open the doors and have an open house and have everyone step inside and visit, take a look. So for those who are curious about the flooring projects that took place this last winter in the formal parlor and the music room, this is the chance to come in and take a look. So the directors will be hosting this spring open house, and that is going to take place on the afternoon of Sunday, May 18th from 1 to 5 p.m. And again, this is also a free event open to the public. So we welcome everyone to come in and take a look around. If you've not been to the museum for a while, now's a great time to do that. And for this event, we do ask everyone to enter at the front door, and we'll also have some light refreshments.
Sounds good. What can they do when they're there for the open house, Joey?
Well, it's basically, a meet and greet. The DeWitt County Museum Association Board of Directors will be hosting it, and then be able to walk through the house and see the recent improvements, and just enjoy an afternoon at the homestead.
Very good. Yeah, Homestead is a great opportunity that open house is a great opportunity to jump in and see the Homestead. So put that on the books for May. And so doing something a little unique to just kind of grow the awareness and get folks in. That sounds like a good time. Joey, did I miss anything on that you want to put out there for us?
No, I think we have it all covered, Seth.
Very good. Very good. Joey, one more time. When is that open house, the when, the where, and how folks get information?
Sure. So the open house will be taking place on Sunday, May 18th from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the Homestead.
Easy enough. Joey, very good. Let's take a break here. Come back with some more. Joey Long, director of the DeWitt County Museum, C.H. Moore Homestead, my guest on the phone today. More to come with Joey on the morning show.
WHOW.
Spring is in the air, so it's time to choose your new Silverado. This is Scott Baum from Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton. We have a good selection of new Silverados with springtime savings and special finance rates. Choose from regular cabs, double cabs, or crew cabs in gas or diesel. We're also allowing extra money for your trade on all new Silverados this month. Silverado, together let's drive. See all our inventory at BaumChevyBuick.com right from the start.
Chip Flory here, the host of AgriTalk, the nation's longest-running agriculture talk show. I'm here to remind our listeners on Central Illinois' agriculture station, WHOW, that you can hear our show weekday mornings from 10 to 11 on WHOW's many platforms. On the Big 1520 across Central Illinois, 92.3 FM in DeWitt County, and now on 106.5 FM in Logan County, and on the WHOW app. AgriTalk on WHOW.
Your fungicide pass is about protecting your crops, but why not use it as a chance to push them further? Work with your Nutrient Ag Solutions crop consultant to identify your crop's needs and find a unique blend of in-season nutrition from Loveland products to add to your fungicide tank mix. Don't miss your chance at making the most of your pass. Learn more at lovelandproducts.com/in-season.
If you've got allergies this season, we have relief. CEO Paul Scarron here from Warner Hospital and Health Services in Clinton. Come to our walk-in clinic inside our family medicine. No appointment, no problem. See our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
DeWittDailyNews.com is the area's leading local news source 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the latest local news, obituaries, police blotter, weather forecast, and more with no paywall. Head to DeWittDailyNews.com to get the local information you need to know.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin insurance agent in Clinton. My guest on the phone today, again, Joey Long, director of the DeWitt County Museum, C.H. Moore Homestead, with us today. And, Joey, you mentioned to me at the top that you've had some folks stop in thanks to the signage on Highway 51. They see it and they swing on in. We're starting to embark on the busy travel season. The weather turns around. Folks are, if they winter in Florida or Texas or wherever they go for the winter and they return, they're probably hitting the road for some adventure. And I'm sure you want to say to them, hey, make the museum a stop on your route. How about this?
Absolutely. So I encourage people as they get out and are interested in exploring to, maybe start in your own backyard if you live here in town. And the museum is a great place to start that adventure and to start planning, especially if you are looking for Lincoln. So the new Looking for Lincoln official visitor's guides were just printed, hot off the press, and I have a large supply of those to give away at the museum. And the museum did take out an ad in that publication this year, And then the graphic designer that did the guide, which is absolutely beautiful. Her work is just beautiful as an artist. It contains many photographs of Clinton and the museum. So Clinton and DeWitt County and the museum are very well represented in this guide. And it's just full of information of the different Lincoln sites that people can go and visit. Most of these sites being within the Abraham Lincoln National Heritage Area, which that's actually a 43 county area. And, it covers over 30 years of life that Abraham Lincoln spent. So there's a lot to learn out there, a lot to explore, but I would encourage everyone, as I said, to start with us. And and if you just want to stop by and pick up a guide for your plans, you're welcome to do that. You don't have to take a tour. I also have a new supply of flat Lincolns. Flat Lincoln is kind of a takeoff on the flat Stanley. So that's a great thing for the kids, to grab their flat Lincoln and run around to the different Lincoln sites, taking a picture at the Lincoln site with the flat Lincoln, which I might add, with as many wayside exhibits that we have here in town, and with as many Lincoln stories and the Lincoln history that we have here, it'd be a great afternoon activity, just for the kids and the parents to run around Clinton and look for all these Lincoln sites with their flat Lincoln. That might be a fun spend a day. And the museum is also a part of the National Park Service passport stamp program. So we get a lot of people from all over who do stop by the museum to get their passport stamped. It's just a little passport booklet that people carry with them. And then each destination or site, and I would say it's an official site, through the National Park Service. We have a special stamp that they use in their passport. And it's just a fun way for people to keep track of all of the different Lincoln sites that they have visited through the years.
Very good. Very good. Well, with all of that said, Joey, I want to revisit a couple of things. First of all, the Looking for Lincoln exhibits. It's been a while since we've touched on that, and you mentioned the sites in Clinton that you can see. Just remind us what that is, and from what I understand, it's also part of a bigger overall effort, like you were talking about, or a bigger overall project. How about that? Just remind us what that is, what that's all about.
Right. This is a huge project, and it's been going strong for a long time. I first became associated with it when I worked at the Clinton Area Chamber of Commerce and Tourism Bureau. Miriam Brizard and I were working there at the time, and we had an opportunity to really get in at the very beginning of the Looking for Lincoln coming together, kind of planning what this Looking for Lincoln was going to be and what it would do. And so probably one of the things that people would be the most familiar with connected to Looking for Lincoln would be the Looking for Lincoln Wayside exhibits. We have several here in town, and all of those were sponsored by various groups and organizations here in DeWitt County. But they're also scattered all over Illinois and beyond. But one of the things, when you have these small towns, their history and stories maybe don't get into the scholarly history books. And those wayside exhibits prove a way, or provide a way, even though the Barnett Tavern is no longer just off the square here in Clinton to the south, there's a parking lot there now. There's a wayside exhibit there that could tell you, hey, on this spot, this is where Lincoln walked. This is a funny story about something that happened to him here. It's just when buildings go away, landmarks are lost and whatnot, but you still know where the site is, or you still have the story. The wayside exhibits really allow you to bring that together. It's kind of like, I think of it as an outdoor museum. And then Looking for Lincoln also, promotes tourism in the Lincoln National Heritage Area. They also, in part, are how we are able to bring Abraham Lincoln to the Apple and Pork Festival every year. Looking for Lincoln helps us out with that as well. So it's a wonderful program, still going strong. And if you're looking for Lincoln, you can find him all over Illinois, but you can certainly find a lot of Lincoln lore and history right here in our own backyard in DeWitt County.
Sure. Very good. And the other one, Joey, was the mention of the Park Service. Was it the Passport program you talked about? That's really cool, for that, little, I shouldn't say little, but that mansion there, on the north end of town to be a part of something big like that. Boy, that's really huge, I feel like.
It really is. It brings people from all over the country. They go on their road trips and visit, each Lincoln site that has the passport stamp. And it just amazes me, some of these people, all the stamps that they've collected. And the passport stamp isn't limited just to Lincoln type sites. It's also national parks and things like that. But in our case, we are a stop because we are designated a stop on the Abraham Lincoln National Heritage Area.
Very good. That's awesome. Very good stuff, Joey. Well, hey, I'll tell you what, Joey, I've got about a minute left. Did I miss anything you wanted to talk about with us today?
I think that's it. We have a lot coming up.
Yeah.
We'll have Mr. on Sunday. We'll have the open house in May. And if anyone's thinking about hitting the road or even just looking for Lincoln in our own backyard, come and see me. I have the free guides and the flat Lincolns.
Yes. Joey, one more time, quickly mention Guy Fraker this weekend, open house in May, the dates, the times, the when, the where, and what folks just briefly need to know.
Sure. So Mr. Fraker's presentation, Abraham Lincoln and Anne Rutledge, Is the Story True?, will be taking place at the museum in the Carriage Barn on Sunday, April 27th at 1:30 p.m. And then on Sunday, May 18th, from 1 to 5, we'll be having the open house, where you can meet and greet the DeWitt County Museum Association Board of Directors and see the improvements that have made to the historic house lately. And then also, you can stop by the museum if you feel like hitting the road and picking up some free visitor guides and flat Lincoln.
Very good. Hey, Joey, always good to talk to you. Good stuff as always. And we'll catch up soon. Thanks for doing this with us.
Thank you so much. Have a great day, Seth.
You do the same. Joey Long, director of the DeWitt County Museum. C.H. Moore Homestead, our guest on the phone today. The morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance.
WHOW.